guys, what's up? It is Robbie with Open World Games, and we are talking about more Watch Dogs. In fact, in this episode, you're going to learn absolutely everything you need to know about this amazing game, including the story, multiplayer, co-op, weapons, cars, outfits, absolutely everything. I'm going to put up some annotations on the screen so you can use those as a guide, and if you're on your mobile device, look in the description and you could use that as a guide as well, so you can skip to the weapons, to the clothing, to what you want to know about Watch Dogs. And now, let's learn about Watch Dogs. Enjoy! So I'm going to start out with the story of Watch Dogs, and I'm not going to be spoiling the story at all. I'm going to be as generic as possible. I'm going to go over the characters and general setting to expect in Watch Dogs, and we're going to start out with the protagonist. His name is Aiden Pierce, and he's going to be a highly skilled hacker that you play as, and you will be going after the people that murdered your niece in the game, seeking out vigilante justice to the powers that be within Chicago. What's really interesting about Aiden Pierce is he's actually a vigilante with an extensive criminal background, and he hails from Ireland, where there was a lot of violence and war going on, so he has learned a lot from that experience and is taking that fight to the corrupt people of Chicago. But don't worry, our protagonist is not alone in his fight against the corrupt people of Chicago. He is going to be getting help from fellow hackers and associates within the Chicago underworld, including Claire Lill, who's also a hacker, and she will be assisting Aiden with that. And then we have a bunch of other characters, but this one really sticks out. He has been in a ton of trailers for Watch Dogs. It's Yorty Chin, who's an associate of Aiden Pierce, but he is said to have a love-hate relationship with our vigilante hero. So we don't know if he's going to end up being a protagonist or an antagonist, but it should be really interesting. He's actually one of my favorite characters currently, so I'm excited to see more from him. And that's all I'm going to tell you guys about the story for Watch Dogs. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys. It looks like it's going to be one entertaining ride for sure. Watch Dogs is more about hacking into various things, including cell phones, and then actually they have what's called the CTOS, which is the operating system that runs the city, and you'll be able to hack into databases that are a part of this CTOS system and really gain an understanding of the crowds, including the ability to track criminals, which is really cool. These are actually dynamic missions that you can undertake and stop crimes or watch them progress. You don't have to prevent these crimes, but you can, and there will be some sort of outcome that has yet to be revealed, but the outcome of your actions will be different as the game progresses. And there is a notoriety system in this game, so there is some sort of morality building up in the background as you play it, which I think is going to be extremely interesting near the tail end of this game. And of course, it is a third-person shooter, much like The Division. You will be able to purchase weapons, you will be able to go into shops and do that sort of thing, but the biggest difference, again, is definitely going to be the hacking. That's a huge game changer for Watch Dogs, and I really think that it makes it a very unique IP. But from what I have actually seen from Watch Dogs, the biggest game I can compare it to in terms of the gameplay loop is Far Cry 3. You will be able to take on outposts, secure them. These are going to be your CTOS databases, which would reveal the map and then also give you the information you need, much like Far Cry 3 and Assassin's Creed. But once you have the actual information, this is where the game gets really neat. You will be able to go and take that info and decide if you want to go all guns a-blazing or if you want to do stealth and really get up close to your enemies and knock them out silently. So that is going to be something that's going to offer you a lot of different choices in terms of actual gameplay mechanics. It has been confirmed that there is at least 6 multiplayer modes online in Watch Dogs, and they are collectively called online contracts, and they can be accessed anytime via the map. So that is really cool that we will be getting this many multiplayer modes in the game. I was hoping for more news about multiplayer, and we are getting just that right around the time of GDC and PAX. Some of these modes include CTOS mobile challenges, online hacking, and online telling, and the latter of which is described as being something like Assassin's Creed, so that's pretty neat. But this is where it gets really cool. The other challenges involve 3 modes for up to 8 players in free roam and decryption online racing. Okay, so free roam with 8 players has now been confirmed. This is amazing. And I remember in the initial trailer for E3, they pulled away the camera at the very end and they showed the co-op partner sitting there in the city watching over his friend. I cannot wait to play this with you guys. And for those of you that may not know, Watch Dogs actually started out as a racing game, so I'm not really surprised that racing is going to be one of the main modes in the multiplayer. So basically what you have with this mode is frantic races around the city, including on the sea, which is something I didn't expect. And you will be able to choose a vehicle in 7 categories available in the game, and they include budget, muscle, motorcycles, off-road, performance, sports, and even heavy, and that includes garbage trucks, ambulances, and fire trucks. So this is gonna get crazy when you are going to be playing online with your friends, and it's gonna be a ton of fun. I can just see all the mayhem in Chicago.
Hi, my name is Paul Vlassi and I am the lead PC engineer on Watch Dogs. During the last years of development, we have worked closely with NVIDIA in order to create the most vivid and breathtaking Chicago possible for the PC version of Watch Dogs. One of the technologies that allowed us to achieve this level of quality is an NVIDIA technique called HBAO+, which stands for Horizon-Based Ambient Occlusion. HBAO Plus improves upon existing AO techniques to add richer, more detailed and realistic shadows around objects that occlude rays of light. HBAO Plus is faster, more efficient, and significantly better compared to previous techniques. To address smaller details and increase the visual quality of Watch Dogs, we also used NVIDIA's TXAA technology. TXAA is a new, cinematic-style anti-aliasing technique designed specifically to reduce temporal aliasing like crawling and flickering that you may sometimes see in motion when playing a game. While there is movement on the screen, TXAA will reduce the visual noise of flickering across game elements like fences, cables, grass, or trees. These exclusive technologies are one of the many tools that allowed us to create an immersive and beautiful version of Watch Dogs. By working with NVIDIA, we really want to make sure PC gamers will be able to enjoy and explore the most realistic and visually stunning world environment ever created, the Windy City like you've never seen it before. We hope you enjoyed this video. See you in Chicago on May 27th.
I'm gonna be quiet here for you guys so you can watch the brand new PlayStation 4 commercial for Watch Dogs revealing its exclusive content, and then also we get our first look at some of the clothing options you will see in Watch Dogs. If you are wanting more coverage about Watch Dogs, The Division, and Assassin's Creed 5, go ahead and subscribe to us on YouTube. That is what we cover. Thanks guys, enjoy the video.
Peggy 18.
And then we have what appears to be the first screenshots of the Xbox One version of Watch Dogs. This is really cool. It just shows how good the game is looking on next-gen consoles. There's very little differences from what I am hearing from the Xbox One to the PS4. And now let's take a look at the car list from Watch Dogs. We don't know all of the cars in Watch Dogs, but from what we know, this is going to be one big game. I am really realizing it after seeing this car list. So look forward to having plenty of real-life inspired cars in Watch Dogs to play around with and collect. But so far they are divided into several categories, including hatchbacks, compact, sedans, estate cars, SUVs, vans and trucks, muscle cars, that'll be cool. I can't wait to see the muscle cars, coupes, bikes and motorcycles, grand tours, roadsters and supercars, emergency vehicles, aquatic, which includes speedboats and stuff like that, aircraft, and then you have other, which is the L train. I wanted to give a shout out to Jay Banton for categorizing the wiki article and putting that together for me. This is extremely helpful, and he's part of watchdogsforum.net, so check that out as well. But I'm going to go into some of the cars here, and there are a ton of them, so beware. Here we go, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to pronounce all of these names. Some of them are really exotic names, so excuse that. In the category for hatchbacks, we have the Arbor 500, and then the Kia Forte, the Kia Soul inspired car, the Mazda 2 inspired car, the Nissan Mersa, the Proton Satria, and finally the WV Golf 4. And then we have the sedans, which start out with the BMW E36. We move on to the Capri / Fusion Malibu. And then we go on to the Capri / Malibu Taxi, and yes, you will be able to use public transportation in Watch Dogs, as well as the L train. Then we have the Chevrolet Impala, the Impala Light Taxi, the Charger LX, the early 90s Infiniti G, the Mercedes-Benz 600 Pullman, the Nissan Sentra, the Opel Insignia, Rolls-Royce Ghost, and then we have a limousine. Ooh, that'll be cool. Then we move on to the estate cars. We have the 80s Chevrolet Caprice Wagon. And then the SUVs include Ford Bronco, the Ford Edge, the Ford F-150, Infiniti QX56, Mitsubishi Outlander, Toyota Tundra Sport, and that rounds out the SUVs. For vans, we go into the minivan cab, more spacious than your regular taxi, the panel van, which is also a CTOS van, the older panel van, as they are calling it, large armored truck, which can be hacked and taken down from what I understand, the Isuzu Forward Step, the International Durastar inspired truck, and then finally for vans and trucks, we have the Concrete Mixer, which is perfect. We are in the mob town of Chicago, so we can make some concrete boots if we want to. For muscle cars, we're going to start out with the Chevy Chevrolet, and then move on to the Chevy Monte Carlo, and then the 60s inspired muscle car, and then finally we have what looks to be a Pontiac Firebird inspired muscle car. That should be a lot of fun to drive around in. Of course, I'm the guy that really likes the muscle cars. For the coupes, we start out with the current gen Camaro or Challenger, then we move on to the Chrysler 300C, and then the Datsun 240Z. I'm actually a big fan of the look of the Datsun. Then we move on to the Dodge Shadow, and then finally we round out that list with the Mazda RX-7 Type R. And this category is going to be a ton of fun to goof around with. They are the motorcycles and bikes. You're going to start out with the dirt bike, Then we move on to the Harley Davidson style motorcycle, and then finally the sport bike. I cannot wait to play with these in online free roam and do some stunts with some friends. Then we have the Grand Tours, roadsters, and supercars. They're all smushed together in one category. We're going to start out with the 2005 Aston Martin V8 Vantage, the E92 M3 M4 Inspired Coupe, BMW Z4 Maserati, then we have the Ferrari 599, then we go on to the Gallardo, the Lotus Elise is really cool, Honda NSX, man, I love that car, I can't wait to get that one. Then you have the Papavera, and that rounds out our really special type exotic cars, so I'm sure you're going to want to collect those, and they might actually be more rare than you think. Then we have our emergency service vehicles, and again, you can actually scramble emergency services in Watch Dogs. You can hack the emergency systems and try to get ambulances to cause a distraction. We're going to start out with the Chevy Caprice Inspired Cruiser. Then we have the Charger LX Police Interceptor, the Infiniti QX56, the ambulance, and of course, the fire truck. And you're going to be offered some options on the high seas, and that includes a speedboat, standard boat, and then the water taxi. Aircraft, now I don't believe you will be able to fly in this game. I haven't heard anything about flying in this game. It's going to be more about staying in the inner city and using your hacking skill, and then also racing against other people. And we have the only known aircraft in the game, and that's going to include the police helicopter, which can be hacked and taken down even from your mobile device, so that's going to be cool. And finally, to round out the list, we have public transportation. If you're feeling lazy, just hop on the L train and take a ride. Again, this one can also be hacked, and you will be able to control your destination as well. So that rounds out the list of vehicles and cars to expect in Watch Dogs. There's going to be more, do not worry. This game is going to be loaded with tons of options in nearly every regard, and you will be able to collect every single vehicle in the game. I cannot wait to see what your garage looks like.
One man has done exactly what we have warned you about.
Are you in trouble?
No, I'm not.
So now on to the weapons of Watch Dogs, the moment you guys have been waiting for, and I'm going to be covering them more extensively when the game releases, so look forward to that. It's going to be part of an entire series so you guys can find out what are the best weapons and hacks in Watch Dogs. And I really want to give a shout out to the Watch Dogs community, more specifically Jay Banton, for his contribution on the Watch Dogs forums. He put together this master list from the wiki article about Watch Dogs weapons, and he did a wonderful job, and I'm going to be highlighting the weapons that he posted on the forum. So Jay Banton, great job on the actual list. Before I get on to the actual specific list, let's take a look at the actual weapons that you get to buy in the store. These are only a select few that were presented in one of the demonstrations for Watch Dogs, but they start out with the 1911 handgun, and this is going to be the first type of gun you probably get in Watch Dogs. I imagine they want you to really earn the more powerful weapons, and man, are there really powerful weapons in this game. I can guarantee you that there are going to be some awesome weapons. And then on the side of the assault rifles, you have the AK-47. That's a great weapon. It's always a go-to weapon that I use in most games, and it's a very reoccurring weapon in games, so you'll probably get very familiar with that weapon. And then there's the SG-590. This is a shotgun, and it's going to be very crucial for those close range engagements. So if you're a fan of close quarters combat, this weapon is going to be for you. But these are my type of weapons, and let me know what type of weapons you guys like. The Vector 45 ACP. I'm a big fan of submachine guns. I don't know what it is, but ever since I got my hands on the MP5, I have really liked the submachine guns, and I think I'm going to be sticking with the assault rifles, and then of course the submachine guns in Watch Dogs. Especially, I'm hoping that there's an MP5 in the game. And then there is the M107. It is a long-distance sniper rifle. So yes, there is long-distance gunfire in this game, which is sort of surprising. I didn't really even think about that with Watch Dogs, so that will be interesting to see, especially in player versus player. And then we have the G106. It's actually a grenade launcher. You don't really think about these type of weapons when you are thinking about urban warfare in the middle of a city like Chicago. So it's going to be getting really chaotic, and I imagine even more so in free roam multiplayer. And here is the more extensive list, which thankfully was presented by Jay Banton. And there's an assortment of melee weapons, handguns, submachine guns, shotguns, assault rifles, sniper rifles, thrown weapons like IEDs, and then grenade launchers. Remember, this list is not complete. A lot of it was community made based off the trailer, so excellent job to anyone that contributed to this list. And here is the first weapon. It is the baton. You will be able to use this as a melee weapon, which is going to be pretty handy in close quarters combat. And it's going to be retractable, so you can hide it away and then also use it as a stealth weapon as well. So if you're wanting to engage your enemies without them even knowing you were there, this weapon is going to be for you. Now moving on to the handguns, we of course have the 1911. We just went over that. And then there's the 92 FS. It is going to be a semi-automatic, civilian-specified handgun based off of the Beretta 92 FS. So these guns have fake names, but they are very much inspired by real-life guns. So that's something really cool about the game. And here's likely going to be one of the more powerful handguns in the game. It is called the D50, and it's inspired by the Mark 7 Desert Eagle. So that's awesome to see a gun that is taking inspiration from one of the coolest handguns in existence. I believe it's going to be taking a 50 caliber round, which is huge. So it's possible that it's going to offer the highest damage for handguns. So that's probably the weapon I'm going to go with when I want my sidearm out. It depends on how accurate it is though. I actually prefer accuracy over anything else. Then you have the P9mm. There's not much that's known about this handgun, but it is going to be used by security contractors hired by the Blum Corporation and Fixers. These are two groups that are going to be appearing in Watch Dogs. More on that later. Can't wait to get into the details about the story. Then there's the PX4. It's also going to be appearing as a handgun in Watch Dogs, and it is inspired by the Beretta PX Storm. This handgun has the ability to fire semi-automatic, so it's going to be your average sidearm that you're going to want to go to when you run out of ammo. Or if you're really into sidearms, you can always use that as your primary. Who knows? That's always an option. Now moving on to, like I said before, one of my favorite classes of guns. That would be the submachine guns. First you have what is being called the Cyberpunk gun. It's going to be a very powerful one-handed weapon, and it looks very similar to the Micro Uzi, so that's where it's drawing its inspiration from. So I can't wait to get my hand on that weapon. There's the SMG-11. It's inspired by the Mac-11, and you can actually see that that was in the recent trailer for Watch Dogs, so it is definitely going to be making an appearance in the game. There's not much known about its accuracy, but rumor has it that the weapon will have medium damage. And here's one of the more popular submachine guns in recent memories. It is the MP7. It is going to be inspired by the H&K MP7, and it's going to have an integrated retractable stock, so that's going to be a nifty little feature for this gun. I imagine that that is going to be a great weapon for short range. Probably going to have a very, very fast rate of fire. I'm not sure about accuracy or damage. There is no information about that at this time. There's the OCP-11. It is also a submachine gun. It's inspired by the PDW for those of you that play Battlefield 4, you may be immediately familiar with that weapon, especially if you play as the engineer. That's the type of look and feel they're going with that submachine gun. So that's another weapon I'm definitely going to be checking out for sure. Now here's where things get interesting, is the Tommy gun, and you all are probably going to be like, wait, what is the Tommy gun doing in this game? Well, it's actually going to be a part of the Uplay exclusive full rewards pack, and that is going to be known as the Chicago Piano and Chicago Style Thompson. So look forward to that game, and you're going to get a 1920s Chicago outfit with it, including the Tommy gun. And you know Chicago is very, very much inspired by the mob, so I'm hoping we see some sort of mob storyline to fall in with the current hacking storyline that we have with Watch Dogs. And then of course we have the Vector 45 ACP. I went over that. It is influenced by, of course, the Chris Vector, and that gun is going to be awesome. I think it's one of the most futuristic looking guns, and I'm very excited to play with that one. I don't see an MP5 on the list, but what I see here I'm really, really happy with so far. And now we're going to be moving on to the shotguns. These are going to be dealing a lot of damage in a short duration, especially the recently revealed AA-12. This was shown in a recent gameplay trailer. You can see it right here, and this thing is going to be extremely powerful when you are using it in close quarters. I imagine it won't be as impressive from long distance, so you're going to have to remember that when playing with that weapon. And here's the big deal about the AA-12. It is going to have a full auto option on it, so you will be able to just hold down the trigger and rain down constant damage on the enemy. And to round out the shotguns, we have the D12, the SG590, and the SPOS-12, and those are a good assortment of shotguns if you are wanting that option. Now moving on to my second favorite class, that would be the assault rifles. We're going to start with the 416. It is going to be inspired by the H&K 416. So this weapon is going to be pretty impressive from a distance, but it's going to have average damage as rumored at this time. So if you're wanting a pretty stable weapon platform for the assault rifles, I would go with that weapon. Then you have what is called the Adaptive Combat Rifle. That is extremely generic, but it's going to be inspired by the AR-15, so that gives you an idea of what to expect with that weapon. And like I said before, you have the AK-47, one of the most influential weapons in the world, and probably one of the most prevalent weapons in the world. So of course, Watch Dogs is going to have that. And then you're going to have the AKS-740U, which is a cross between an assault rifle and an SMG, as I recall. And it's going to be taking the form of the popular SBR AKS-47U. And here's a unique weapon. It is called the Biometric Assault Rifle. It is going to be inspired by the Magpul Masada Remington ACR. It's going to have high damage, but this gun has a very defining feature. It's going to have a biometric palm scanner around the pistol grip, and I'm very curious to see if this is going to be something you can actually hack in the game. I'm almost certain it is, and we're going to be getting into guns and weapons that can be hacked. That's right, you can hack your environments and weapons in this game, so that is really, really unique to this game. And then to round out the assault rifles, at least so far, there could be more in the game, we have the M468. It is going to be inspired by the military-grade assault rifle, the Barrett M468, which is going to be awesome. So it's going to be a very good weapon. The damage is really interesting. It is listed as pretty low, so I'm hoping that it's very accurate from a distance. Accuracy can make up for a lot. Now moving on to the long distance weapons, we already went over the fact that there's an M107 in the game, and then we have a Russian sniper rifle So those are the two known sniper rifles in the game. I'm not a big fan of sniping, but if you are, go for it. Watch Dogs has you covered. Then we have our thrown weapons. This is really interesting. You will be able to play with IEDs. And recently in an article, it was revealed that IEDs are actually going to be hackable, and you will be seeing enemies equipped with them, so you can set them off while they are still on an enemy. So that's going to be a ton of fun. And then I hope we can mess around with that in multiplayer and PvP as well. And finally, the grenade launchers. Once again, you have the G106 and the GL94. There's not much known about these weapons other than they are going to, of course, deal a ton of damage in the game. So, tons of explosions everywhere, especially in free roam. And although they're going to be high damage, I think that they're going to be pretty inaccurate, so that should help with people spamming these all over the place in free roam. So what do you guys think? This is not a complete weapon list. Please let me know what weapons you would like to see in Watch Dogs. So I'm going to start out with some of the more unfamiliar hacks and some of the newer hacks that the community has discovered from watchdogsforums.net. And we're going to start out with what is called Intercept Convoy. And basically, this is where you're going to be intercepting armored vehicles in the game. I'm sure that they're loaded full of money. And again, this game has been referenced to Heat the movie by Michael Mann. And in that movie, at the beginning, there was a scene with an armored truck, and I was thrilled to hear about this. I'm hoping the more the game is revealed around May 27th, we find out about heists. That would just put it over the edge for me, because that would be an awesome inclusion, in my opinion. And then we have Hijack Electric Billboard. This one is really cool. In one of the previous trailers, they showed a mobile user jumping on to a console user's game and hijacking the billboard and sending a message. I think this is one of the coolest features. I'm hoping it's used as a system to give hints to one another when you're playing online with your friends, and maybe taunt other players when you are invading their game. That would be awesome if you could send them a message and taunt them in that manner. And then it also appears you can hack car alarms in the game to provide distraction. I imagine this would be better for single player, and maybe even good for when you're invading other players. Then you could hack ATMs in the game as well as track vehicles. Now that's really cool. I think you're going to be able to track these vehicles and use your on-demand car service to gain access to them. Hacking is going to play a huge role in how you actually collect cars as well, so look forward to that. Then we have Infiltrate Private Life. You can be basically a home invader and look into someone's private life. And Aiden, he's getting a little bit pervy here. Then there's Scramble First Responders. This one's great. It was spotted on watchdogsforums.net. It looks like you could scramble emergency services throughout Chicago to cause a mass distraction. It would be really neat to use these to get through traffic as well, because traffic would be cleared as you tried to make an escape or something like that. You even have helicopters that can be hacked. I don't know if you can hack such things as airplanes, but it would be cool to take those down if they are only enemies. I don't want to see civilian airplanes crashing for obvious reasons. And then you have the ability to hack traffic lights as well. You have drawbridges, which is going to be a lot of fun for doing stunts online and stopping other players from following you. You can of course hack phones, gain access to information in that manner. Street blockers is going to be key during races online and then against the cops. IEDs is really interesting. You will be able to hack IEDs and other type of devices like C4 even, and then there will be enemies that are wearing IEDs and you'll be able to set off that explosion. And some weapons will be hackable. There is a weapon that recognizes handprints, so it would be cool to be able to reprogram that and possibly shut down certain weapons that enemies use. Then you have cameras you can hack into, and this is going to be extremely useful for surveying the situation before going in and deciding on what to do, so you can actually plan out stealth if you are wanting to take that route. Then you have electrical boxes and power supplies that you can overload. This is going to be extremely useful when chasing someone down and causing distractions. You can also basically hack the entire city. This is going to be where you hack the power grid to the city and shut down everything, and it's going to be very useful for getting out of the worst situation, especially against cops, because the cops are going to be very aggressive in this game, especially if you attack them. From what I'm hearing, if you kill a cop in this game, it's going to be very, very bad news for you, so be careful in that regard. And we all know you can hack the L train in the game. You can hop aboard this train and activate it and get out of sticky situations in that manner as well. Doors and garages can also be hacked. And then there's forklifts and cranes and something called protectors. This is going to be extremely useful for when you are getting into position and taking on other enemies, or just using it as a stealth mechanic as well. CTOS control centers are a huge part of the game. This is where you're going to be hacking the main servers of CTOS and gaining access to the cell phones and the cell towers in the game, and then you're going to be able to take on other missions like criminal activities, and then have access to all the cell phone information throughout the city. So you're definitely going to want to take over as many control centers as possible. Of course, that's going to give you access to hacking people. This is a huge part of the game. You're going to be able to hack anyone and everyone throughout the city, find out where they live, who they are, what their jobs are, and their hobbies, and also look up any career criminals and track them down. That's going to be fun. I can't wait to do that. That's going to be one of my favorite activities, is really acting like a vigilante in Chicago. CTOS towers can be hacked, steam jets and steam pipes can also be hacked. These are going to be very useful for when you are in chases and that sort of thing. There are so many more hacks to be explored in Watch Dogs. There's over 100 of them, as I recall, so stay tuned for that. I'm going to be covering nearly all of them on Open World Games, so if you are wanting coverage of the hacks, multiplayer, weapons, anything and everything Watch Dogs, go ahead and press subscribe on YouTube. We have our first news about Watch Dogs DLC, and it comes in the form of a season pass, and I am all for this because I am going to probably be buying this, of course, because I'm just such a big fan of Watch Dogs already. I'm seeing great things from this game. But this news comes from computerandvideogames.com. I'm going to include a link in the description as always. But according to the retailer, the 1999 Season Pass will offer access to a wide range of Watch Dogs DLC at a discounted price. So you buy it in one bundle, so $20 for the Season Pass, probably more expensive if you buy it individually. And then it goes into the description about the DLC. It says, stay connected to the world of Watch Dogs with the Watch Dogs Season Pass. Get access to a unique single-player campaign featuring a new playable character, plus more missions, weapons, and exclusive content for $19.99. That's an over 30% savings versus buying each piece separately. So that's nice, and the big thing that you just read there is a new playable character. So will we be playing as Clara, or will we be playing as Jordy from the trailers? Man, I cannot wait to see what they have up their sleeves for Watch Dogs. I'm getting really excited over here. It's time for this game to release once again May 27th on nearly every single platform imaginable. So, some DLC news finally. Are you guys going to be getting the DLC? Let me know in the comments. I know I am, and I will be covering it right here on Open World Games, so look forward to that. And now it's time to take a look at the clothing options and pre-order options you have for Watch Dogs. So these are going to be important when you are purchasing Watch Dogs. And then they give us an idea of what to expect for customization in Watch Dogs. You will be able to customize your character much in the same way you customize the assassins in the Assassin's Creed games. So you'll be able to go to shops and buy outfits in that manner. And our first pre-order bonus is coming from Amazon.com, and you get what is called the Signature Shot Pack. It comes with an exclusive single-player mission and includes the Black Viceroy's outfit and the biometric assault rifle, which is tuned to the handprint of Aiden Pierce, so no one else can really pick it up. But this outfit looks really cool. So far, it's one of my favorite outfits that I have seen. Then we have the pre-order pack from Best Buy. It is called the Breakthrough Pack. It includes another exclusive single-player mission, and the rewards include a Vehicle Expert Pack, get free cars from your underground car contact, and earn discounts on select vehicles. And vehicles and cars and racing are going to be a huge part of the Watch Dogs experience, simply because this game began as a racing game. Now we move on to the GameStop pre-order exclusive, the Palace Pack. Exclusive single-player mission is included just like the other reward systems. Then we have the investigation bonus, and then the ATM boost. Boost your cash rewards when hacking bank accounts. So this one is pretty cool. I honestly see this one being the weaker of the pre-order options. That's just my personal opinion. I don't know what you guys think. Then you have the Bloom Agent Pack. This includes a multiplayer theme pack reward, Bloom Agent multiplayer outfit, which you can see right here, a weapon specialist perk, and then the multiplayer faction tag. Then you have the Cyberpunk pack provided by Walmart. Theme pack rewards include the Cyberpunk gun and then the Cyberpunk outfit. He is decked out in all black. Now we're getting into the really special editions. This is the Watch Dogs Uplay exclusive edition, and it includes in-game bonus content, including 3 times the single-player missions. Breakthrough pack is included, the Signature Shot pack, and then the Palace pack, which we went over. And then we have the Watch Dogs Uplay exclusive full rewards pack. This includes 2 outfits on the side of the single-player rewards, and then 3 multiplayer skins. You see they look pretty cool. Chicago outfit with a Tommy gun, Cyberpunk skin plus gun included, and then we have some skins, some perks, and faction tags for the multiplayer rewards. So that's also a really cool one to go with, and we get an idea of what to expect from multiplayer in terms of the skins and the characters, and it's looking pretty awesome. And this is the big one. This is the Watch Dogs DEDSEC edition. Man, this one, I am jealous of anyone that is getting this one. It includes, of course, the in-game bonus content, the 3 times the single-player content, which is the Signature Shot pack, the Breakdown pack, and then the Palace pack. You get your still book, your Watch Dogs art book, which is going to be awesome. Man, I would love to have that. The 4 augmented reality cards. Then you have the set of 3 exclusive badges. Don't forget Aiden Pierce. He is a 23cm figurine, so check that out. Map of Chicago, and then you have the official soundtrack. And man, the music is sounding awesome in this game. And then, of course, the collector's box, which is a pretty big box from what I understand. And this is definitely the definitive version if you're wanting the ultimate Watch Dogs experience and wanting to show it off to friends. And don't forget, there is exclusive content on the PS4 and PS3. It is going to be an hour of content, so it is going to be an awesome version to have. If you're getting the Xbox versions, don't worry. There's going to be some awesome stuff in store for you. But the DLC also includes an exclusive outfit called the White Hat Hacker outfit for Aiden. So that's really cool. I'm really jealous of this outfit. I actually really do like this one. Damn it. I'm so jealous of you PlayStation 4 users, but the hour of content is going to be a big deal. But he also gets what's being called the Superior Capacity perk, and it will give him an extra battery slot. So, ooh, you don't have to charge your phone as often on the PlayStation 4. The bonus DLC will ship with the PS3 and PS4 editions of the game with a redemption code. So look forward to that, guys, if you're on the PlayStation 4. or the PlayStation 3. The Mad Mile is Watch Dogs' version of the real-world location, the Magnificent Mile, which is a prestigious section within Chicago's Michigan Avenue. Bridges can be hacked in Watch Dogs, and you'll also be able to explore the rivers in boats. Yes, even this train can be hacked by our very own Aiden Pierce. And then there's the beautiful weather, the physics of the weather system, and then a gorgeous day-night cycle. And then there's plenty to do in Watch Dogs, including exploring the city. We don't know if yoga is going to be a side activity or not, but poker and other things will be. But all the citizens are extremely lively, and you will be able to interact with most of them. Everyone in the city can be hacked. Their information can be used for good or bad. And then of course there will be over 100 hacks in Watch Dogs, including the ability to erupt steam pipes and track vehicles in order to actually gain access to them. You will also be able to spy on people in their own homes in Watch Dogs. And get ready for online to get pretty damn crazy with your friends. You will be able to race with cars, including fire trucks. And there are several classes of which include budget, muscle, motorcycles, off-road, performance, sports, heavy, and even boats. Watch Dogs is also heavily influenced by Michael Mann's movie Heat, so expect a lot of gun battles in the streets. And welcome to the underground, Aiden Pierce's safe haven away from the cops. You can decide to help people in trouble or watch everything unfold. The choice is yours. There be dragons in these lands. It also appears that there is a group willing to fight against the CTOS. Prepare to put your gambling skills to the test because yes, poker is rumored to be in the game. Aiden Pierce is by no means the perfect hero. Go beyond the concrete city of Chicago and try stunts in your new car. I call total BS on this percentage, by the way. I think the CTOS is going to be more of a problem than it is a helping hand. And here's a shot of Aiden holding what appears to be a MAC-10. Helicopters look to be a major threat to Aiden, so you are going to want to use cover. And it appears the alternate reality side activities are true, and I hope you access these through the CTOS because it would give it a lot of context. And here's a look at what appears to be the automatic shotgun, the AA-12, which will cause amazing amounts of damage in a very short time. Fishing could be another side activity you can engage with, and I'm hopeful you can do all of these side activities with friends online. The seedier parts of Chicago will be home to prostitutes. And take a look at one of Aiden's newer outfits that we have never seen before as he looks over the city of Chicago. Players will also be encouraged to go beyond the concrete jungle and explore such areas as this dam. Stunts in cars will be a big deal in Watch Dogs because Watch Dogs actually began as a racing game. And what do we have here? Yes, that is a robot on top of a building. It looks like we will be playing against these robots in an alternate reality side activity, so look forward to a ton of those related to the central operating system. And some more crazy AR side activities here. Once again, it's likely we will be accessing these through CTOS. So now let's talk about the map size in Watch Dogs, and I'm going to go ahead and compare it to Grand Theft Auto 5 in just a moment to give you the idea of the size of the map. But first, before I do that, Jonathan Morin, the creative director for Watch Dogs, has been extremely active on Twitter, and I'm really thankful for that. He's answered a ton of community questions out there, some questions that you just don't see being answered elsewhere. And he was asked, can I take this map in the background as an approximation of Watch Dogs Chicago from the Welcome to Chicago Watch Dogs trailer? And this was a recent trailer, and in the trailer, what Christian is talking about here is they showed the map in the subway train, and Jonathan Morin replied by saying, why do you think it's there? So yes, we can take this map from the trailer and get an idea of what to expect in terms of map size, so that's good news. Then he was also asked again about the map size from Jeremiah, who asks him, how big is the map for Watch Dogs world size? Any game maps you can compare this to, thanks. And I'm sure he's referring to games like Grand Theft Auto 5. And Jonathan replies by saying, it's big, but I'm not into the scalar war. Scale for scale is pointless. More interested in the depth density for a game like Watch Dogs. And I really want to state before I go into any comparisons in a moment that I totally agree with Jonathan about that. This game is going to be totally different from any other open world you have ever experienced. While Grand Theft Auto 5 is a big game, it's not going to be comparable in terms of depth and density, especially when it comes to the interaction with NPCs. So keep that in mind before I go into this comparison. But I think this is going to be a fun comparison. I've been curious about this myself, so I'm going to do it anyway, you know. So let's take a look at the map size in Watch Dogs. I really wanted to thank DualShockers.com for doing a very interesting article about the map size in Watch Dogs, and they provided a mock-up of the paper map provided by Ubisoft for Watch Dogs, and this mock-up is about 20% the total size of the Watch Dogs map. So with that information, we can times that 20% by 5 and get the entire map size down and compare it against the Grand Theft Auto 5 map, which is exactly what we're going to do here right now, actually. So here is the Grand Theft Auto 5 map in its entirety, and I don't know about you guys, but I actually spend most of my time in the major city area, especially in Grand Theft Auto Online, simply because the majority of players end up there, especially when they're first spawning. Your cars are usually there, your safe houses, your penthouses are usually there. Most of the activities are down here, and the rest of it is just filler. It can be used for great distractions like racing and fun activities, but if you're going into a game with random players, a lot of your time is going to be spent in the lower half of the map. So just remember that before I start doing this. So I'm going to take the mock-up map, which is 20% the total size of the Watch Dogs map. Just remember that. And you get about this size. And I have scaled the Watch Dogs map block by block to the GTA map. So it's fairly accurate here. I'm trying my best. But we take this and we times it by 5. and you get an idea of just how big Watch Dogs is going to be. It's going to be approximately this size, and I think that's a pretty good estimate. They didn't come out and they did not say this is going to be the biggest open world you're ever going to experience, and I am perfectly fine with that. I've had so much fun in other games that are actually smaller than Grand Theft Auto 5, and actually I've had a lot more fun in those games than Grand Theft Auto 5. I'm talking about games like Sleeping Dogs and games like that. I just cannot wait to play this game. Now, so with this information, you can get an idea of the size of the Watch Dogs map. It's going to be about the lower half of the Grand Theft Auto 5 map. So what I would take from this is the top half of the Grand Theft Auto 5, in my opinion, is a lot of it is filler, especially for online play. I just think it's way too big for the player count. I'm actually really excited about this because I think you're going to be running into players a lot more often than you would in Grand Theft Auto Online. And I think the hacking in the game in the inner city is going to change the gameplay dynamics big time versus anything we've ever played in online gaming. And you have the open world free roaming. So this is going to be a good estimate. Remember, this is just a guesstimate. I'm trying my best here. I hope this helps you guys with getting an understanding of just how big Watch Dogs is. And I'm really excited that they managed to pull off this large of an environment in Chicago, especially considering that this game is going to offer 8-player online free roam cooperative play, and then you're going to have a single player campaign where you can be invaded by other players. And then on top of all of this, you're going to have a mobile companion app in an open world. So this game is going to be a ton of fun online and offline. And yeah, it can be played completely offline for you single player fans out there. You can do that too. So there's tons of options with this game. I cannot wait to mess around with Hacks Online. And if you guys like this video, please go ahead and smash that like button. I really would appreciate it. It helps out a ton on YouTube. And look forward to more Watch Dogs videos, including a walkthrough, some fun multiplayer sessions with the community. We are taking a look at Watch Dogs, but first, I'm going to try hacking into the CTOS. Don't worry.
No way, you're not hacking into the CTOS. Oh, it's so worse.
Hey guys, it's Robbie with Open World Games, and we are talking about more Watch Dogs, but first, I'm going to try my hand at hacking into the CTOS. Don't worry. Nothing
We're not hacking into the CTOS. No one hacking into the CTOS.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Robbie with...
No, you're not hacking into the CTOS. You're not hacking into it. Never. Gosh, just stop.
Okay, one more time, guys.
Okay, this is getting ridiculous. Do we have to do this again?
Seriously.
Okay. God, I'm getting tired of telling you to stop.